In this video, I'm going to go over how to lose 10 pounds of dangerous belly fat in as little as 7 days. But you got to follow this exact recipe to do it properly. And so first off, we know that belly fat, if you have excess fat around your midsection, that's called visceral fat, and it's very pro-inflammatory. So it's releasing cytokines, these inflammatory proteins that are driving up inflammation, that's degrading your blood vessels, that's causing insulin resistance in your body, that's damaging your liver, that's damaging all the vital organs in your body. It's extremely dangerous. We've got to burn through it quickly. This recipe will work. Who is this recipe not for? It's not for people who are already very lean. It's not for pregnant women. It's not for young children, right? It's not for high-level athletes who are trying to compete. The reason why is because we're going to use a calorie-restricted, protein-sparing, modified fast. What does that mean? Well, we're going to do about 1,000 calories for 7 days. I don't recommend doing this long-term, but you can do it for 7 days and you'll be fine. What you do is you're going to eat 2 or 3 meals a day, depending on your preference, okay? You're going to do it in either a 6 to 8 hour eating window. So you might do your first one at 10 a.m., your next one at, let's say, 1 p.m., and then your final one at 5 p.m., for example. You're going to prioritize protein. You want, if you're eating 2 meals, right, you would do 75 grams of protein in each meal. If you're doing 3 meals, you do basically about 50 grams of protein in a meal. Now, it doesn't have to be exact. If you're off by, let's say, 5 grams or so, no big deal, right? But try to get it in, within 5 grams to do it the proper way. So 50 grams in each of those meals if you are doing 3 meals, 75 if you're doing 2 meals. It's your preference. Okay, then we're going to do about 10 to 15 grams of fat. That's usually going to come in the protein. So, you're probably going to get doing a lot of like boneless, skinless chicken because it's very low fat. And this sort of plan is low fat in general. You're going to do, if you're doing 3 meals, you're doing 10 grams of fat in each of those meals. If you're doing 2 meals, you're doing 15 grams of fat. So you really have to watch your fat content. For example, a lot of times, like eggs are, you're basically getting about 1 gram of fat per gram of protein. So the eggs are not going to be sufficient, at least not eating a lot of eggs. It's not going to work on this sort of plan. Same thing with steak. You're going to get roughly about 1 gram of fat per gram of protein. So you can't do much of that. You're going to have to do more of the chicken, and you're going to have to do more of the low-fat versions of protein, right? But getting roughly about 10 to 15 grams of fat in a meal is going to provide a little bit more satiation along with the protein, so you're not feeling hungry and you don't have cravings. In fact, a lot of people go through this and actually feel really great while they're doing it. You want about 10 to 15 grams of net carbs, and that's basically just going to come from vegetables. So no fruit on this plan other than maybe lemons or limes. You can do that, or maybe a tiny bit of avocado just because that's higher in fat. And so really just vegetables. That's, salad greens, it's very low in net carbs, maybe a little bit of broccoli, but you don't want more than 10 to 15 grams of net carbs in a meal. 10 grams, keep it to 10 grams if you are doing 3 meals, 15 grams if you're doing 2 meals. So that's what you're going for, roughly about 1,000 calories a day during that period of time. Again, you're intermittent fasting, so you're eating your meals in a 6 to 8 hour eating window, whatever works best for you. Now, the reason why the protein-sparing modified fast works so well is because the protein helps preserve your lean body tissue. So your body doesn't get into and break down your muscle tissue or your bone tissue, and it suppresses insulin at the same time. When insulin goes down, your body starts burning fat for fuel. So we start to actually break down and burn fat for fuel. We're also not providing a lot of fat in the diet to be used as an energy source. So we're in a state of calorie restriction, so the body needs more fuel, but it needs to dip into the fat stores because insulin is down, so it starts burning up our own body fat. And it starts doing this quickly and really starts doing it right away. Also, the high protein creates satiety, so you feel really satiated. You don't actually feel super hungry when you're doing this because of the protein levels. So that's key. Your body doesn't feel like it's in starvation mode, but it's breaking down the fat and utilizing that for energy. So that's really key here. Now, another thing we want to do is get movement in. We want to walk 10,000 steps daily. 10,000 steps is roughly about 5 miles. Now, I don't recommend doing that all at once. I recommend doing it roughly 3 times a day. So basically breaking it down and doing 2,500, 3,000 steps, let's say 3 times a day or so. And so you're gonna basically be doing 2 miles, twice a day, 1 mile, another time a day. So I recommend getting morning movement, getting midday movement, and getting evening movement. Now, if you can't do 3 times a day, based on your schedule, do it twice a day. But getting 10,000 steps, and you can track that on a Fitbit, or there's a lot of different devices that track your steps. And so going out and getting that intentional movement is really, really key. On top of that, you wanna make sure you're strength training or doing interval training, some sort of high intensity interval training 3 times a week. So I don't recommend doing it necessarily every day. You can do it 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, let's say, but you're doing it for 20 minutes during that period of time, right? So during the training session, it's roughly about 20 minutes or so, 3 times a week, doing strength training or interval training, something that's really high intense, okay, that's challenging your muscles, and that's gonna help your body burn up stored glycogen. It's gonna help turn on more fat burning as well. Sleep, you wanna make sure you're sleeping 8 hours, okay, and getting at least 10 hours of darkness. So what I mean by that is at night, when the sun goes down, you are dimming all the lights in your home. You're putting on amber, maybe like a fireplace is fine, or kind of an amber light, or you can get blue light blocking glasses that you put on. And now all the screens have this kind of red amber light. Okay, that doesn't block melatonin. Melatonin is really key for initiating enough human growth hormone release at night so you can really burn fat and preserve lean body tissue. We need a really good melatonin and human growth hormone release to get these results. And so putting on the blue light blocking glasses at, let's say, 8 o'clock at night, okay, dimming all the lights at 8 o'clock at night, wearing those until roughly 10, and then sleeping for 8, maybe 9 hours, right? Sleeping till 6 or 7 a.m. the next day, that is gonna give you the best fat burning type of sleep, the best fat burning potential there, because you're getting enough darkness and enough sleep. So that's really key. That's gonna release more melatonin, more growth hormone, so you get all this amazing mitochondrial support, and you get better fat burning effects from that. Okay, also with your meals, I recommend taking a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and about 4 ounces of water and drinking that right before your meal. What that does, the apple cider vinegar will actually trigger your vagus nerve, which will produce enough stomach acid, bile, and pancreatic enzymes, so you really metabolize your meal well, and then that's gonna help your body reduce inflammation as a whole, right? It's also gonna help support your gut lining, and it's gonna help you metabolize the food more effectively. Also, apple cider vinegar has been shown to reduce the glycemic impact of the meal. Even though we're eating a low carb meal, we still wanna keep the glycemic impact under control. It's gonna help keep that nice and balanced as well. So simple, easy thing we can do there. And then number 7 is good hydration outside of meals, making sure that we're drinking enough water. I recommend at least half our body weight in ounces of water, and you can put a little bit of salt in the water. When we're on a low carb diet like this, we actually excrete a lot of sodium. So we gotta make sure we're replacing that. So putting a little pinch of salt in our water when we're drinking it, or taking an electrolyte, a good 0-calorie electrolyte powder can be really helpful, okay? And that will help support the electrolytes, one with maybe magnesium, potassium, sodium in it, right? Chloride in there, sodium chloride, as well as magnesium, potassium. And that will provide the electrolytes that we need, and we're drinking that outside of meal times. That can be helpful. You can still drink black coffee, herbal teas, that's fine. Just don't get too much caffeine, that will overstimulate your system, but in the right balance, getting a little caffeine, that can actually be helpful, actually turns on fat burning, so that's good. But hydrating outside of that with electrolytes, very important, particularly during the fasting window. Not as important during the eating window, because you're consuming food during that period of time. You don't want to dilute your enzymes and your stomach acid so you can digest your meal effectively. So drinking that, getting that really good hydration outside of meal times is key. Okay, and then the bonus thing, and this is, if you have one, getting into a sauna. It could be a dry sauna, like an infrared sauna. It could be a wet sauna, right? Doesn't really matter, although I do prefer infrared sauna for deeper detoxification. It could be a wood paneled sauna where your whole body's in it. It could be a blanket sauna, right? I have one of those at home where your head stays out of it, but you're still getting the infrared penetrating into your body, and that's gonna get you to sweat. And when you're sweating, you're releasing toxins. That's also increasing your metabolic rate, and that's increasing fat burning. So getting in a sauna every single day for, let's say, 30 minutes can be amazing for helping to speed this process up. It is a bonus strategy, so it's not, you can do this without the sauna, but that will actually improve your results, right? And get rid of the toxins. When you're releasing fat cells, that's where we store toxins, is in our fat. And so as your body is breaking down this fat, you want to get it out of your system. Sweating is one of the best ways. You also want to pee and poop it, and that's why hydration can be so important. But sweating is a great way to release these toxins, and so infrared sauna usage or some sort of sauna usage can be really beneficial as you're burning through this dangerous visceral fat in such a quick period of time. I would recommend doing that. On top of that, you can also take some sort of binder like GI detox binder with charcoal, zeolite, with fulvic humic acids, right? Something along those lines that helps bind to toxins and pull that out of the system. And that can be really, really helpful as well. So guys, I just went through the recipe. This is how you can burn 10 pounds in as little as 7 days. It's powerful, but again, you gotta follow the recipe. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my channel, browse the various videos that I've done on similar topics, and also make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button. That way you get notified whenever I put up a new video training. Thanks so much for being a part of our community here, and I really hope you enjoy the videos that we're putting out on a regular basis. Be blessed.